the girl, it took me a really long time to find the right girl for that. But we shot over 6 months because it was a matter of uh, they didn't get out of school until 2:30 every day. They're actually in high school. They're 17, so it was a matter of sort of going, you know, well, at 3 o'clock, meet me here, and we'll start shooting these scenes. So it really took us a long time because of that. Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting too because I knew starting out that there were a lot of things I couldn't do. One was lighting. So the color grading that you see on that is like over the last week, basically. It was a temporary color grade. It looks blown out a lot, so we don't necessarily have the right colors that will be in the end product. Um, but yeah, we shot the entire film without any lights. There wasn't a single light used in the entire film, and we shot basically the entire film with a 50 millimeter lens. There wasn't really, we used a 28 millimeter for just a couple of shots. But the idea here, there are different sort of rules to filmmaking that have been sort of made up, like dogma, which was a Lars von Trier, right? You have to shoot everything with practical lights, and that was really the idea behind this film too, was that this was going to be tricky because we only could use one lens, no lights, actual locations, non-actors, and we ended up shooting the entire film roughly for about $9,000 to get it in the can, and then post-production, of course, is more. But yeah. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Right, whether it was linear or not in terms of the story. Yeah, it's supposed to be linear. One of the also tough things was that I knew I wanted to. I'm actually from Key West, Florida. Um, that's where we shot the entire film. I wanted the idea that this college, the freshman year of her college, was at this island somewhere. And one of the themes that we originally started working on was the tides. That she says it in one of her phone calls to the parents that people. I think one of the things too is we were really determined to do something interesting after she tries to commit suicide, and I wanted to really kind of do something abstract in terms of what it would be, what that unconscious, kind of go into this, girl that has been basically depressed through the entire movie, and what her brain waves are almost doing within that, because the 50 millimeter lens, we're so close on her all the time, and it's just constantly her, that when she jumps off, I kind of wanted to stay with her and almost in her brain now, like what's going on there as well. um, what we're planning on doing is, after this screening, and we're going to screen tomorrow at 1 o'clock over at the other theater, the Welder Center, which I'm really interested in because I sort of made this film thinking of it screening in a theater, not like Rosebud, like a restaurant like this. But so I'm interested to see that too. But when we get back to Key West, we're going to add some more scenes to after the attempted suicide. So when she comes back to school, we had very little time. We shot those. We actually shot a couple of these shots like 2 days ago. uh, any other questions, thoughts? Write them down. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, the idea was that she wants this guy, Eric, and she has no idea how to get him. She's socially, awkward and has no idea, and decides basically it leads up to that scene where she tries to blackmail him, where she calls him and says, I want to see you or I'm going to turn you in, which really pushes that last section of the film into what is she going to do if he says yes or no, and he says no, and we see her like get rid of the license, which I think reads to me as she's just throwing away the license. I don't know if anybody else was expecting her to jump off the bridge or not, but that was something that we kind of knew she was going to throw the license and then walk away, and then in those moments decide to go back and try to commit suicide. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for being like, this is really tough to do something like this. But write down any comments you have, any thoughts that you have, because all of this, we'll go back and read it, and it really helps form this movie. This is a really sort of strange way to show a movie to people, but thank you for hanging in there and watching it, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.